All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is October 5th, 2019. This is a Saturday morning webinar, and the title of this morning's webinar is Cut Losers Short and Let Runners Run. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars that we have, our live trading room should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, let me go ahead and clear this. And what I'm showing right here, right now, is just a little chart that I personally like to look at. Now, if you don't need to look at this particular chart, you don't have to, but it's in your templates. It's called the webinar template, and you can put lightning on it and everything, and you can see where these trades should go. And what I personally like to do, just like I've taught in many, many webinars, look to the left to trade the right. First off, I see a swing right here, don't you? All right, so I would draw a line there, obviously, and it's really close to it. And then here's your next swing down, okay? Now, when you draw on this next swing down, always look to the left to trade the right to see if it even hits like a lightning 3, which a lot of times they will. This one doesn't look like, yeah, it did actually. It came to a lightning 3 within a tick. So I would probably put one more line right there at that lightning 3. Just simply because that's a good support area. All right, so now you're really ready to trade. But what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about, cutting those losers short and letting those runners run. But also keep in mind, if you can draw on your chart when you first start trading a range and they're still in that range, you need to be careful with, letting runners run. For instance, right now, we're pretty much in this range right here, aren't we? I'll just go ahead and draw them with white lines so we can see these. Well, let's do it with cyan, that's fine. And then we'll do one more down here. And that's pretty much the range you're in right now, right? Okay, so you're 39 to 91, so that's good 52 ticks. So that is definitely a tradable range. Okay, so when I'm looking to the left to trade the right, we're either going to bounce off 61 or we're going to bounce off of this 52 or 53. Okay, and then the next thing you want to look at, in my personal opinion, and it's up to you, if you can see them with your, your mind's eye, so to speak, you don't really need it. But, if you want to throw a fib on there real quick also, this is probably good enough right here. And let's just go ahead and go to a different fib I've got. Got one for black charts. All right, so there's a 61% retracement right there. And then amazingly, this one's at 76. So you're going to get a trade either in this little sweet spot right here or this little sweet spot right here. If we're going to continue going up, that is. Okay, everybody see that? So you'd be ready to box that in, right? And you're ready to take the trade. Now what you want to do is you want to go with your original chart and, see where the trade is and get ready to box it in. Okay, now when you're going for some of these trades that you're not real sure of, be real careful throwing on several contracts. Okay, Fibonacci's, Louis, Fibonacci's are really good. And they're like a self-fulfilling prophecy is what they really are. When you draw on your charts, you're going to pretty much see that our levels are going to hit these fibs because that's where traders hesitate with those algorithms. When they're trading their algorithms and everything, that's what it's doing on your chart. It's drawing all over it with swings, and that's what we teach is these swings. Okay, so basically, you want to check your fib just to see. For instance, like right now, we just got up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's where we're at. Okay, so we don't have any more movement on the chart. How do you see the level percentage? Well, basically, on your fibs, we need to have a webinar on fibs, I think. But Fibonacci's are actually, the most important ones to me on these smaller runs and everything are 50 and 61%. And occasionally they'll come down to 76 and still give you a higher low. Okay. So these are areas that I look for trades, and more than likely you're going to see those on your chart too, as mid-bands and phantoms, to give an example. Okay, so here's your percentages right here. This is 61.8% on a fib, this is 50% on a fib, and this is 76.4. Fibonacci's, you probably want to just look online and, kind of study those and see, how to actually, interpret them. And believe me, they're not going to just, every single time hit, because, the thing is, do you start your fib here? Do you start your fib here? Do you start your fib over here to the left? Thrust, retrace, thrust. That's like an ABC. So your Fibonacci is more like this, and then more like this at like 52. See where it even tells you the price on it, 52 or 59? And when I see on my chart that there's a 61 swing, like right here, I'm conscious of watching for a bounce there also. Okay. Everybody see that? Now, this is just your first diagnosis, and if you train your mind, you can actually almost see these by just, kind of cutting this in half in your mind. You'll see that fib without ever, hitting it. You'll notice in the room, I call that quite a bit, where, I'll say that looks like a 61% fib to me. Okay, and then amazingly, if you train your eyes to see it, you can see it. If not, you can do this too. Let me show you a little chart here. Go to your indicators, go to Object Trader, and you can actually use our little fib that's right here. And keep in mind, this is an auto fib, so it will actually draw on your chart automatically from swing to swing. And it looks at the very low one on the left and the high one on the right, regardless how your chart is. See, like right now, this is your low swing. So this is telling you that your Fibonacci levels are like right here is 50%, looks like. Right here. Let me think. Let me look at this. Yeah, 61. It looks like I don't have a 76 on here, but I kind of like the 76 also, especially on smaller moves. But keep in mind that everything that we've developed on here too is developed so you can see these in real time. For instance, without fibs or anything on this chart, all right, you can actually just draw your lines on your chart and you'll see where these things have been. And what you want to do is you want to be ready to box in the trade when they come down to them. We've got a uptrend right now, right? So we're looking for retracements, and this is where I see retracements. Look left, first swing to the left, and then your next swing to the left, okay? And on longs, you're looking at the first swing's going to be a little higher swing, and your next swing's going to be lower, okay? Because what they'll a lot of times do is they'll bounce right off the first one, come up, maybe kiss resistance, and then roll over again, and then check this one. That's what they seem to do. You'll notice, though, that most times when traders, these algorithms are kicking in, they will come down and check these swings that they never checked. It's just pretty much inevitable that they will. Okay? Let's see, what steps do you do before you start your day trading, or what do you recommend sort of checklist? Well, on that question, what I'd recommend doing would be, drawing your chart. That's critical. Like what Charles does each day. Let's say that you were up at midnight. This is like 1:30 in the morning. So you know where your range is, right? You've got a range right across here, and it looks like about the same there. See it? And then you've got this range that you can clearly see right here. So, this is definitely in a sideways range, but with a bent to the upside for now anyway. Okay? And then you simply draw on your chart, and I would use different colored lines on this myself. That way you'll be able to see them your range, for instance, you can actually draw more with different colored lines and then draw your swings with these lines. And this is where I'd be looking for a trade. Okay. Now, if you come down to like this 61 and you're a really aggressive trader and wait for just the bar to close, you could actually get in this trade at probably about 65 or 66. If it comes all the way down to here, you can get in probably at about 52, 50, or not 52, but 57 or so. Okay? And that's what you're looking for. We're looking for, after a trend change, you're looking first at mid-band, okay, for a trade. And if they do break mid-band, you're looking deeper probes. And if they go deeper, these bars will turn red. Okay? And that doesn't mean you're going to short it, because to me, this isn't going to short until it takes out this swing right here, as far as, a real trend change. Okay? Everybody see that? So right now, for instance, what could you do with this trade? Well, you could box it in, right? So you hit insert on your object trader, and what it will do, we'll look at the last two candles, and it'll draw a box. Okay? If you don't want to get faked into trades, now when it's like mid-band, I don't mind doing this particular little trade, and I'll usually do like a touch plus 2, something like that. Okay? And then if it doesn't fire and it keeps going down, I'll just keep boxing it. Okay, let's see. When you go long at 52.65, do you keep stop at 52.61? Well, keep in mind you're not long on this trade yet if you do the box method. For instance, if mid-band's at 67, so if you hit the trigger at 67, you're already feeling heat. Okay, you really want to, start at least getting a candle back up, if you're going to be aggressive. And you'd probably be in that trade right there if you were that aggressive. But we recommend boxing, Now, if you were going to jump in this trade, like for instance on this bar close up, and this thing was to go up and then come right back at you, I'd probably get out of it if I was that aggressive. Okay? You want to be careful being too aggressive, because you'll be fighting your way back. You'll notice that I'm fairly aggressive, but I'm not so aggressive that, I just don't like to, basically leave a bunch of coin on the table on a trade, because to me, this wouldn't start heading back up until you got, a little high and a higher low. You'd want to get a higher low before you'd start taking this trade. If it was to break that little swing, for instance, like let's say that it popped up, pulls back and gets a higher low and then pops up, you could definitely take it. And this box would do that. Okay. Now, what you can do if you want to, okay, you can actually just go with like one contract at first. And a lot of times what you can even do if you want is have a second chart and have it ready for a different type of trade. Okay, in other words, let's say, for instance, that we don't get fired on our mid-band trade, but maybe we get fired down here because it hasn't checked it yet. Okay, we could actually, just go one contract when you get a little pop up, and then turn on like bar close on this one to actually add if you wanted to. Okay, you can do something like that. I recommend that bar close feature. It's pretty cool. And it will get you, without jumping into like 3 or 4 contracts at once. Because what if you jumped in at 67, just because it hit mid-band and this thing still keeps going down? Well, it broke out right here. So, when I'm looking to the left to trade the right, it's either going to bounce here at 61 or it's going to bounce at 52. Or it's going to crater through it and it's going to keep on trucking. But I still have a stair-stepping mid-band. See it? Stair-stepping up. Went from short to long. Okay? So I'm looking for long trades. Let's see, Louis, I totally understand looking left. It's just determining. I get confused where to concentrate to see where it's going first. Well, that's what I'm trying to explain here. Let's go back to our little black one right here, and we'll get rid of those fibs. Let's get rid of the Fibonacci. And we'll even get rid of these lines for right now. Let's just diagnose this from scratch. All right. This is what you're seeing when you get up in the morning. Let's say you got up at 1 o'clock in the morning and you're going to start trading. You start seeing your lines on your chart. Now, I like Lightning 3 first off, so I would draw a line right there on my support, okay? Because that could easily bounce there, and that might be, you know, where I want to draw that line to actually get ready to take a trade, okay? But I also see that it went straight up even on Lightning 1, so this is the breakout. So I would simply draw another line here. And then, I don't know why I didn't change that. Let me change it. Since it's a black chart. All right. I draw a line there. And then I look to the left to see if this is also, you know, any kind of a strong support swing. Okay. So I look and I see, okay, these are way up here. Still way up here. And then just keep looking. And you'll usually find that they'll have some kind of swing near there to correspond, like in the afternoon or something. See, there's 62 right there, but there's not a 52 yet. Let's see where it is. And you don't have to go any further back than this. There it is right there, though. Okay, so that's a Lightning 3 swing. So then I just go to my chart and say, okay, I've got support at 52.53 by looking at my chart. And keep in mind that Lightning 3 is actually, you know, even though it does a nice thrust up, it does it like this, okay? And it may even do it like this, you know, more zigzag as it goes. This is a pretty good move with bars straight up, you can tell. The bars never pull back to make a Lightning 1 swing. But your Lightning 3 is really important because, you know, let's say, for instance, that you saw this happening in Lightning 3, all right? Is that a downtrend, or would you be looking for support levels to take another trade? And of course, you wouldn't go any lower than this, or you'd be heading the other direction, right? Okay, that's what Lightning 3 does. Now, when you draw on your charts, you're going to be amazed at you're going to see these trades set up before your eyes. This trade to me is either right here or right here. And I look at my chart and I see that I've actually still got a green background and I've got a midband that's blue. Okay, that's a high for the day, by the way. A high for the session is when this turns blue like that. Now, does that mean this is going to stay this way? Because if you look at the overall, this is heading down. Okay, but right now, what's it doing? Well, it's kind of heading up because even though you didn't take out that top, you still got our midband, and we're looking for these trades that I just drew. Okay? So if you draw on your charts, you're going to see these, you know, and this is the exact same chart that I just did in the black. See, if I draw this with my Lightning 1, see where that is right there? 52 and 61. Okay? So I know when they pull back, that's where they're going. And higher lows, longer swing, Kevin. Well, now keep in mind, could you have been short on this trade also? With the same analogy, but on smaller charts? Yes. Because look here, you had a high, you had a low, you had a lower high. Okay? When they broke that low right there, that's pretty much telling you that they're gonna very possibly head down. So if it does it again, you know, for instance, see, it broke it, so then you're waiting for it to break it again. You could short that line, sure. But you got to be careful with it because this is still an uptrend and you might not get 5 ticks before it goes back in your face. Okay? I like to usually stay, if at all possible, on the right side of the trend because the trend is confirmed by this background and by that midband. Okay? And like I say, that doesn't mean this is going to head up, simply because it's a huge move to the downside. Okay? But we're trading in the now. So what I would do with this trade is I would block it in like this right here, and I would also be looking for this little trade right down here. Little sweet spot. Okay? Let's see what it actually did. And by the way, we got our box drawn. You know, 2 ticks above that little swing, we'll take the trade. If it goes down into here, we'll rebox it. Let's see if I'm missing any questions. So regardless up or down, Gary, you will systematically look left to follow, regardless short or long. Well, keep in mind, though, that on the left side of this chart, this is an uptrend. On the right side of the chart, it did break. Okay, but on the left side, it has not broken. So yeah, I'd definitely be looking for a long trade down in here. Now, could you actually short this below this little box and see if you could get down here? You could do that also. Charles and I do that quite often, but if you do that, you just want to go for a scalp, because this is where you should be heading if they break this 61. See, and they're trying to break 61. See there, they just broke it. Okay, so yes, you could definitely short that. You know, if you got up, now if you got up here, you might have been short from way up here, or like a trend line maybe. You know, there's all kinds of trades on charts. So let's see, long here, right, blue midband. Yeah, you know, what we try to teach more than anything is the KISS method. Everybody know what KISS is in sales? It's an acronym for keep it simple, stupid. And that's not a derogatory, that's to yourself. You know, it's saying, okay, self, keep it simple. And keeping it simple, Charles has got another term, ecolala, whatever it is, you'll have to ask him. It's a Hawaiian term, and it's the same thing. You know, simple is better. Now, see this right here? Now, could you actually be ready if this was to pop up? You could, right? Okay. Now, what you can do if you want, since this is a region, all right, this is a region. Now, I could actually just turn on my auto. All right, let's just do 1 instead. But we'll turn on our auto. All right, see, this is touch plus 2. If it happens to touch this and then touch it again, it would just simply add a contract. But we're not starting with 3. Okay, now notice it came down right where we thought it would. That's a phantom trade, by the way. Okay, it's a phantom, you betcha. A phantom trade is a good trade. Now, will they all work? No. You got to target at 61 and 67, right? On this side of the chart. Now, you can also, if you want to, go with this chart. And if it happens to break the box over here and fire, you could even turn this on and like add if you wanted to. Okay, or you can simply turn a region on like this, and if this tags +2 and then touches it again and does +2, it'll keep firing contracts until it hits your maximum, which your maximum on the way I set mine is usually 4. That's the most I really want to go. 4 will not kill you, but it can also, I mean, it can if you get on the wrong side of the trade. But, you know, if you did like 15 contracts here and it goes against you, you could be down $1,500 in a split moment. So I don't recommend that. I talk to a lot of traders and they think you got to go 25 contracts and all that. No, you don't. You can make a living doing just what we do. Okay, so are we going to get this trade? Well, we haven't yet. See if we do. See, it's just bouncing off that little support. It hadn't, there, it just touched it right there on our line. Now, I don't usually short this right here simply because you need a thrust and a retrace. Otherwise, you're going to get a lousy fill, and it's more than likely going to kiss right where you got in anyway. And if you got a lousy fill, it's going to kiss where you should have gotten in, not where you did get in. Let's see, where would you exit with a stop on a phantom trade, Kevin? Well, what I like to do personally on a phantom trade, let's just do it with this one. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll be down a little bit. But this is a phantom trade. So what I would do is if it pops up and gets us in, I would take the trade. I'd put my stop like right in the middle of this thing right here. Because if this is going to go higher, this is a low over here on this side. you're not going to go any lower than this because this is on the left side of the chart and this is where they're testing. So if they get a higher low, then you should head up. So I'd probably put my stop just about in the middle of that shadow right there. Now, usually I will use line 0. Okay, now this should fire if we get another tick or so. Not firing yet, though. Let's see, do you always wait for line 2, then next candle up, you go in, Gary? Well, not necessarily just the next candle. Now, you could already be in this trade. I'm trying to show a little bit more conservative way to trade it. Yeah, if you were going to take this trade, just literally, if this came in the middle of the box and you wanted to buy one, you could certainly do that. But the safest way, see, you're getting a higher low. See it? You can see it by 1 tick. It's not a major deal yet, but if it breaks this swing, it should trigger it. But this is a safe way to trade it right here. Because let's say that you got in the middle of this and you felt about 4 or 5 ticks of heat already. We're waiting for it to actually kind of do this little power meter. Where it actually gets a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. We had one of our guys in that's a member gave an indicator the other day, which I'm going to have our programmer work on and get it to where it works in MTF format also, and it actually signals these higher lows on your chart. So you don't have to guess at them. You can actually, see a little text pop up when they show. Now see, that's touch plus 1 so far. That might even be 2, but it has to have a confirmation tick, and there you go. Okay, now if this touches this box and goes 2 again, it'll fire another contract. It should. That's the way it's designed. See if it does at all. It's back in the box, so touch plus 2 should fire it. Now, when you do a phantom, you're really just shooting for the mid-band. Okay? Doesn't look like that's going to give us, we should have done an inside. It's what we should have done. It's too late now, I bet you. If we did an inside, we'd probably get that. But see, now what I would normally do, see where that bar closed? I would probably add one and then kind of bring my stop like under this swing right here. And then if this bar closed up again, you could even add one. Okay? And then you keep your stop nice and tight. Because this is a phantom trade. It should go to mid-band. You do have a swing right here. You got a swing right here. So I would draw lines on it. That's not a scalp yet at that swing, but it would be a scalp at this swing. Everybody see that? Let's see, but outside is a good conservative approach, I think. Well, I like it more at the line 2 because you can just keep a tighter stop. See, this got you way up to line 3. I don't like the box as much, but it'll keep you out of trouble. Notice that the power meter went green too, and it looks like we're going to be in the profit, right? So we've got this set for 10 tick trigger on the break even. Well, you can move your stop to break even. What I would usually do is if this is going to really head up, you shouldn't take out the second bar back. So I'll usually lag it like this. On a trade like this, you'd still lose a little bit. Okay? But that keeps you from just getting, wicked out. And I usually turn this on. Exit on close. That way it has to actually close below it. And by the way, if you're trading, like say Linda does, to give an example, and you've got 3 on right now, and you see this swing right here at that line, would that be $300? Could you hit nicely green and turn off the machine once you get there? If you're using it for, depends on what you're trying to go for. Okay. Now, like I say, I like this phantom trade a little bit more into this line two myself. Anytime they go below line two and they hover around it, you can take a chance on it. Just don't let them take out that swing to the left because they could be heading down. But you just want your stop there, not necessarily switching it short, right? Okay. So that's a true phantom trade. And if you're trading in the morning and you want to just try to scalp and get some, cut your losers, for instance, like on this right here, could you easily take two off like real quickly? See, you're already up 250. So you can actually just go, you know what? I think I'll just take two off, and then you're covered. Okay. You can't lose on this trade if you now then go to break even. Okay, or maybe even a tick under. You could lose a little bit, but not much. Okay, that's the way you can actually, uh, make sure that your each and every trade, goes your way as much as possible with just, the one contract at first, just to make sure. If you're gutsy and you're way up for the day, like let's say if you're up $1,000, well, if you were to just box this in like so and take this trade on that bar, if you had three contracts, what if it came all the way back down here? That's a good 10 ticks. That's $300. Let's see, I usually take 2/3 off by 10 ticks. And you could even set it, Brian, on Object Trader to go ahead and take. See, that's 9 and 10 ticks was on our target to begin with, and now we're riding our runner. Okay, we're simply riding a runner. Now, what I normally do on a runner is go ahead. Actually, we had our bar close turned on. Duh. Let's turn that off. We're back in two again. We had already taken one off. Be sure and don't leave this on auto if you're going to take things off of this, because what'll happen if you leave it on auto, if you hit a target, it'll fire another contract, and it would fire up to your max contracts too. Okay, let's see, Louis. In a nutshell, I think I understand my question. It's a short band or long. You are always looking left to see what line it may go to. Yeah, because when you're looking at longs, and you look to the left to trade the right, and you do our method of trading, they're going to do these self-fulfilling prophecies of coming back and checking these swings and fib numbers. Now, remember we said this is probably 76%. Well, it turns out they bounced at 76. But a lot of times when they do 76, they're going to go deeper the next time if they don't take out this top. Okay. Now this is a pretty good trade, but let's go ahead and take one more off if this bar closes down. We'll just take one off if this bar closes down at all. Okay. Because we can actually get out of this trade at any time we want. And the way my son traded and also my wife trades, if you're just looking for, $300 on this trade, then, just watch that bar. Now with two contracts, a full bar is $80. Okay. So if this bar closes up, it would be good, but if it closes down, I'd lose 80. Okay. So, when you get in the money, if you don't want to take a chance that it's going to pull back on you, just go ahead and sell that next one too. Okay. That way you're nice and, just watching it for the, hopefully the gusto, but you're not trying to hold it with like two contracts. Okay. Now, what if this hits its head here at this predictor? What if it hits its head here at this predictor? Well, right now you'd probably want to go to break even or even at mid-band. Okay, with exit on close. And then just ride the trade. We'll see what it does. Let's just see what it did. Went up a little bit more. Yeah, I'd be more than likely getting out of that. There you go. Now see, you only kept $170 by even doing that because they whipped it against you. Okay. So when you hit this line that I had drawn, could you have taken your profit at that predictor? Sure you could. See how much you give away otherwise? That's one of the reasons why when Linda's trading and she's actually watching her money, when she hits $300, she doesn't let it pull back against her that much. Okay? Because from here to here was 15 ticks. That just wasted your money. Everybody see that? That's why when you get doing like this and you hit these target lines that you draw and these predictors, just go ahead and kill the trade. Because for instance, if we would have kept $300, now we got to take another trade if we're going to get $300. Okay, so what's our rule of thumb, everyone? This is still an uptrend, and we're looking for another uptrend type trade. So let's see if we can get one. Let's go ahead and get out of this. All right, let's diagnose our chart again. Let's just pretend we just got up. All right, so they checked this one. We're going to draw our line again. They did kind of hit it a couple of times here, so they could check it again. Believe me, they do that if you only hit it once and pull back, they'll only check it once usually. But if they check it twice, you can sometimes count on them checking it again. They did check this one twice though. See it right here, but with a higher low here. So I draw a line. I look to the left to trade the right again, and I see a thrust, retrace, thrust. I see another swing here on the left. All right. So this is going to be my little sweet spot, either right here. We'll draw one right here, and we'll draw one right here. And when you're this color background, I personally don't look for mid-band trades. Okay? Because with this color background, that's your first time into Phantom after a trend change. Okay? And you got to trade. Unfortunately, we gave some of it back. Okay? This is choppy. All right? And even with you keeping your stop at mid-band with exit on close, it took most of your coin back. And that's what they do. That's why if you're a trader that likes to hang on to $300 on a trade, take the money. And if it runs, 50 ticks, just don't care about it. Because the thing is, when you get 350, something like that on a trade, you've got a pretty decent trade to begin with. Now we got to wait and get in it again. Let's see what it does. We'll watch for like stair stepping back up, right? Just like this one over here. We're still looking for longs right now, unless it breaks 52. Now, if it breaks this 52, we may be changing directions, but we'll see what it does. All right, now diagnosing our chart, what we'll be looking for? Well, we could turn power meter on, right? Or we could just watch it and see if it'll stair step and give us a trade. All right, so we looked here. Unfortunately, I just missed that because I was talking. That looked like a pretty good little bounce, but that's all right. See how drawn on your charts they'll check these little swings. Now this is still stair stepping down though. All right, you're not really looking as much at longs right now. I mean, not looking at longs. You're looking for it to at least get a higher low and take out a little swing. So let's see if we can get it. We'll get rid of all of the lines and everything. We'll box it in. Right now, I would box it. Like I say, I don't like mid-bands as much, so I'd probably, if we could get a higher low, something like right across here, which we already got. See, it bounced. So let's see if we can get something. All right, now you can box it right here. Going down a little bit further. Look to the left, trade the right. That's 61. If it breaks 61, I'd probably go ahead and take that trade, because that's resistance over there. Oh, and I put it at the bottom too. Doggone it. Well, we're in it, so let's just stick it out and see what we get. And I'll turn this one off and turn that one on, and then we're going to try to get to a swing. And I would rebox this, I think. See your little swing right across here that they're trying to do? Go ahead and turn that back on. It's on. If it bounces off support, you could actually add one if it bounced off support. Put your stop nice and tight. And then if it does take out that box, we can add one more. What do y'all think? And then always look to the left to trade the right and see where their resistance is. You got resistance at mid-band. So I'd put my target at mid-band and then ride a runner. Okay, let's see if that one works. Everybody see what I'm doing here? Just trying to actually show you how to gauge where these will hit their head by drawing on the charts. Now, would that necessarily have stopped right here? Well, it did, so we're okay. All right, bring our stop a little tighter. Got to exit on close. Now that's trying to do a higher low right there than this one. And I would probably more than likely, since you got major resistance right there, that was support and now it's resistance. And let's see if we can get to predictor, like so. And if it stair steps down, we're going to take one more off if this goes below mid-band, right there. See how it just went below mid-band? And now if it stair steps down, I'm going to go ahead and bring my stop down again, but I'm going to turn on lightning. And if it stair steps, you don't even have to worry about where the stop is. If it stair steps at all and goes red, it'll take me out of the trade. Giuseppe, can you explain why? Well, this is resistance now, okay? Because see, now you've got support here. Basically, if you had gotten up and were trading, we just got stopped out. If you were trading, you got up in the middle of the night, let's say this is the middle of the night, wherever you see your swings is where you got to draw your lines. Well, we took this first trade just a few minutes ago, right? So now let's say that you didn't get that trade, but this is what you see when you get up, okay? So you draw your line on your chart. You got a line right there, and you got a line right there, right? That's your little range right now. Now your larger range is down here still, and usually when I do this one, I go ahead and change the color of it. That way you can see that it's actually your major support and resistance lines, okay? And then let's see if we get another trade. Now are we looking for longs still? Are we looking for shorts? No, we're still looking for longs. Now, keep in mind that this was one phantom that worked, this is another phantom that worked. So if you don't want to take this next one, unless it breaks down, then be careful and don't take it. But as long as this is stair-stepping up, I'd be looking for a phantom, but I would be looking for a boxed-in phantom, okay? Because this hasn't changed trends, all right? What did we say it's going to take to change trends? Low, high, lower, lower, high now, but they haven't really broken this. And truthfully, if they even break this, they'd have to break this to break down to me on the left. Okay, let's see if we can get another trade. We'll box this little puppy in. That's a higher low right there. Let's see if we can get something on this. Box it in. Little 1, 2, 3 reversal. Now, I haven't done a line 1 phantom just yet, have they? Oil is notorious for doing line 1 phantoms, by the way. And just when you think they're going short, they'll bounce in your face like a yo-yo. I've watched oil for almost probably 6 years since I really started watching oil very heavily. And you'll be amazed when you got this mid-band, you got this color background, this line 1 trade. See where predictor's saying the next trade is? Right there. Right there at that predictor is where it's saying the next trade is. Okay, let's see if we can get something. Let's see, when you have a chance, could you show how you set up your stop profit parameters set up for 2 contracts? Sure. Give it just a couple of minutes and we'll do just that. All right. Let's go with touch plus 1 long inside if it touches my line, the bottom of this box. There's my entry. I'm going to put a stop nice and tight just in case this thing decides to crater this. Not quite there though. I'm going to put it right in the middle of that. Look to the left, trade the right. Where's support? Whoa. See where I put that with those white dots? That's kind of as low as they want to go on these predictors most times, unless they actually take them out. Now that is still a line 1 trade. Now your safer bet, let me show you how to do it safely. See this low, this high over here? You can actually just turn on lightning. Let's say if it turns green right here, it'll actually take out this little swing. Or you could still box it either way. Are we recording this, Mama G? Absolutely, I record these. Now see, that got into me a little bit late because it had to wait for that bar to close. But that is a line 1 phantom trade. All right, and let's see where they're going. We got, well, let's get one out of the way. Get one up here to resistance. Your scalpy should be right here if you had 3, but we only got 2. You want to add one? We can add one if it takes out this little swing. Turn on sniper instead. And we'll do touch plus 1 if it takes that swing out. See where you'd be stair-stepping up a little bit? You got a thrust, little retrace, and if you get a higher low here and they take that out, see, that's a higher low right there. Could you actually add to this if you wanted to? I probably wouldn't add but 1. And then you've got resistance right there at 69, and you got resistance at 78. So I would probably, more than likely, if they'll take out 69, I'd take one of these off. See if they will. You can put your stop just underneath the swing, right? Just in case this decides to go against us. See that little high, low, higher, high? That's a swing. You could even tighten it more if you wanted to, like that right there. That's a swing too, but it's not identified yet. This one's identified right there. See it? Lightning 1. See your little thrust, retrace thrust? It wicked it, but it's still, to me, it's an identified swing when you're looking at one range, one swing type lightning. I'll draw it for you and show it to you. Let's draw it from here. See where your swing is? Right where I put my stop. Now it went to break even. Everybody see how you can do this? Now, could you have shorted this at mid-band, like even Charles teaches, box it in? Absolutely. But what I'm trying to show you today is a little bit more how to stay with the trend instead. Now, if this trend gets broken, then you're going to be looking the other direction. Okay? But all this did is take out support by a little bit and gave you a beautiful phantom trade. And a lot of our traders will take those phantom trades in a heartbeat. Let's go ahead and tighten our stop just in case, especially with 3. Let's take 1 off. We'll leave that one on. Rider runner. See how it wicked above? Now, it didn't close above, so if you want to lag your stop just a little bit, you can. Well, yeah, Louis, on your question, if you want to just try to scalp it to the next level of swing, you can certainly do that. What I love about these phantom trades is, as a rule, they'll go above mid-band, and if they go back below mid-band, they're pretty much coming back to retrace again, and you can get another one, you know. But if you box them in too wide, you'll never get the profit, and you'll feel heat. So for instance, like a line two type trade on phantom, if you can get like a bark bounce off of it where you got a perfect swing, like I showed earlier, that's a good trade that you don't even lose any money on. Let's see where we need to put our stop on this. Look to the left to trade the right. You got a swing at 85. You got a swing at 91 and 93. We'll split the difference at 92. If it hits its head at 85 and rolls, you can clearly see you got resistance. I drew them. We even had one here, but they've already taken it out. See it? I like to hit targets and take coin off the table myself. Pull him back a little bit. I don't like that. It needs to bounce. There, it's bouncing. There, I'm going to take one off. See where it just hit 85? And then ride your runner with that swing right there. And this is exactly the way we teach this in that room every single day. Phantom are money trades with crude. They really are. If you'll learn to see this trade right here on crude oil, it'll make you plenty of money. Is it a good idea to do what you're doing now, push chart together and draw lines before you start your morning? I think it's a good idea to start your lines every single day. Okay, let's fast forward this just a minute. We'll close this out. I don't care. Let's fast forward this, and I want to see if anybody can grab the next trade. Breaking down a little bit. Let's look at our chart. Let's say you got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's look at our black chart, and we'll get rid of all this over here. We don't really care. We care more from up here. All right, so let's look to the left, trade the right. Let's get rid of all the lines. And let's draw on this chart. All right, so let's see, we got major swing at 40. You've got a swing at 45 and even 52, right? And they're breaking 69, so you could have definitely shorted this thing already. See it right there? But it's too late now. See it break that? All right, if it breaks like 52, what if you were up in the morning and you said, you know what, if this thing keeps breaking down, could you actually see how this is stair-stepping like right now? What if it kissed this line right here at 69, or if it breaks this right here, could you short this? Well, you're shorting a thrust, but it's looking to me like it's kind of trying to break. See there? So if you're a gutsy trader and you want to take this shot at this, that's a lower high, by the way. See how that didn't take out that high over there? Now, to me, this is not really breaking down until it at least takes out 52, right where we got our line drawn. And then you've got support at 45. So it's only a 7-tick trade. Okay? Now, is this going to do another phantom? Well, you could get ready to set up for another phantom, right? Let's see. If it bounced off 52, could you take it? Well, let's draw a little box and see. We'll do our little box. We're going to go down to phantom, right at 52. See, they checked 45, so if they were going to head up, they should hold 52. If they don't hold 52, they're going to break down. Okay? So let's see if we can get a phantom on this. And if not, no big deal. All right? This looks to me like it's just really trying to break, but seen 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours of charts. Yeah, see that double topped and didn't even take out the top. So when they do that and they break support like right here at 68, you can definitely short that. Okay. Now, even here, now keep in mind, though we were looking for phantoms here and even here, you can still short these mid bands especially if they take out, like, see, here's a high, low, lower high. That's the candle you could short it on if you were actually going to short lightning. Okay. On this one here, let's say it went up and you say, okay, it thrust down, retrace, thrust down again. You could actually short it on that bar, putting your stop just above mid band, and you probably got 10 tick trade on that one even short. Yeah, this is breaking down. I'm going to actually go ahead and short it because it broke 52, and I'm going to put a really, really tight stop at that candle back. The reason that I did that is because it's breaking 52 even over here to the left. Now then look to the left to trade the right, and you got to swing at 41. All right, we've only got one contract, so unfortunately we're just going to have to run it. Okay, if you got one contract, you really can't take off scalps as much. You're just going to have to run your contract and see what it's going to do. Then look to the left to trade the right and see where the next swing is. Draw them on your charts. If they take out 41, they got another swing at 27, 26 and 27. Everybody see that? Well, that's a tougher one to me because the trade was way up here. See, even in these situations like this, you do have some shorts at mid-band, which Charles will take in a heartbeat, and so will I a lot of times. But was this a good trade? And was this a good trade? And was this a good trade? That's 3 trades at roughly $300 a piece. Now, if you were to take this trade right here that I just took when it took out 52, then put a really tight stop on it. Don't let them, if they don't go against me, that can't be a bad trade, because all that would cost me at the broker would be $3.30 or so. You see what I mean? So if this does continue to break down, then we'd be fine. I mean, we teach and preach, so to speak, always about not taking thrust type trades, but also don't be a deer in the headlights. If you see something happening and you missed part of it while you're talking, or maybe, the significant other, wife brings you a cup of coffee and you don't see it and you go, oh my gosh, look, this is breaking down. If it doesn't go against you, it can't hurt you. Okay. And plus, if you're up pretty nicely and you want to take a trade, even this to me is, it's a breakout trade. I don't personally like it, but you could clearly see support was right there. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, didn't take it out. 1, 2, 3, took it out. So when they actually come again through it, could you take it? Yeah. But your trade was way up here if you wanted it. Okay? It's not your wife's fault, it's Trump's fault, Giuseppe. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not the wife's fault. Trump tweeted and I didn't take that trade. But draw on your charts and you'll see where they're going, and then draw again. So you can see they got a low at 17, right? All right. But what if you weren't that gutsy of a trader and you said, you know what, I'm up $1,000, I'm done. That's that easy to do. And I probably just left some coin on the table, didn't I? Because I got my lines drawn, that's where they're going. Okay. But you can always, absolutely always take your coin. There's nothing wrong with taking coin. Now, let's draw on our charts and see, this has gone red, this has gone red here. So where's our next trade on this chart? And we're going to wrap pretty quick, but let's draw on our chart and see if we can figure it out. All right, look to the left to trade the right. Lightning 3 swing. Draw it. Come on, draw. Not near mid-band. There's your swing again. Lightning 3. Look to the left. Look to the left for the first one and then the second one. And if you have a third one that's actually not the top one, but the bottom one, which we don't, you could draw it too. Okay, but when you're short, you're looking for the bottoms of swings, and when you're long, you're looking for the tops of swings. Okay, see how we drew that one right down there on top of that, and it perfectly bounced again, took it out a little bit, gave you a higher low, still bounced again. Everybody see that? Low, high, higher low, much higher high. Still kept higher lows as it was going. So this trend was still up. Now the trend is what? It's definitely to the downside, right? So let's see if we can actually get a trade. And by the way, watch for predictor, because predictor is watching this price action, and predictor is going to draw where you should actually get a trade. All right, let's see. There's predictor right there. 45 is my resistance. All right, what if I just said, you know what? If this bar closes down, kisses resistance, I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on this trade. Is that risky? That's fairly risky. Looking to the left to trade the right, though, they haven't checked 52, right? But they also haven't checked 45. Okay? Now, I personally like to get a little ABC, or if I'm going to take a trade like this, I'll just go ahead and take it if it touches that line and that bar rolls over. Let's see what it did. Just curious. Now remember, this doesn't count on bar close. That's your only thing that counts. It's kissing our other line, isn't it? There you go. You're in your trade. Look to the left to trade the right. You got support at 41. That's not enough of a scalp. Look to the left again. You got a scalp at 27 or 30. Well, there's one at 33 also right there. Everybody see that? And then here at 26. Just like that. On a losing trade, Walter, how many ticks would you give it before you hit the close? I like to look at the swings and the support and resistance levels. For instance, if this trade had gone against us, I'd put my stop literally right there at mid-band. So see, I'm only risking like 4 ticks right now, plus the close of the bar. And the close of the bar could be right on that, or it could be just a little above it too. Yeah, this trade, I'd probably let it run its course. But with only one contract, I would probably, when I draw my charts, if I've only got one, I try to go for one target. If I've got two, I would go for this target and this target. But with one, you can always look to the left to trade the right and see that you've got to swing at 33 and 25. All right. So if I was in one contract, I would either ride a runner totally, or I would put the target right at the swing. Okay, because that's what they do is they check to the left each and every time. And if you're going to one contract something for like 10 ticks or so, that's what you want to do. Now, if I was in two, let's say that I was in two, then I would put one down here, see, instead. Okay, but you got to take it whenever you see these swings on your chart, that's where they bounce. Okay, because again, those are self-fulfilling prophecies. That's a support level there at 33. It's also support level at 25. It's also support level at 17. Right, so if I had 4 contracts, I'd do 33, 25, and 17, and then let a runner run. Okay. Oh yeah, definitely, Kevin. If you get in, like, see, we got in right here because we drew on our chart, right? And we let the bar close to the downside. All right. So you could put your stop just right above predictor, but keep in mind that's 9 ticks, so I could lose money on that trade. Okay. Now, what I like to personally do is if they give a little thrust and a retrace, they didn't take out that low, I'd probably still more than likely put my stop just above that swing, hoping that they would consummate the swing by making an identified swing, and they are doing that as we speak. So then I'd probably tighten it like that, like so. Okay, when you can, Gary, above question. Thank you so much, Lewis. Let me look. For the most part, Gary, when looking to the left, it's always one to the left, then the next. Yes, yeah. What you're wanting to do when you're looking left to trade the right is you want to look at the little lightning, say 1 or 2 swings. You know, 2 is usually the better if you're looking for a little bit better swing. But these lightning 3 swings are not that major of swings. In other words, they draw fairly quickly because all they're looking for is 15 swing strength. That's what the indicator is set at. So if you go to your indicator to lightning 3, see it's set at 4 range 15 swing strength. So 15 swing strength is actually this chart right here. All right, let's just draw on it. See, this is where your trade's at right now. So I always like to look to the left. Let's say that you were right here, okay? Look here, look here. Got another swing right over here. And that's pretty much it, except for right here, right? For right now, all right? And then once you do that, you can pretty much see where they hit their head. See where that one tried to hit here and rolled over? And that was a perfect mid-band trade, by the way. Okay, now with this chart, you can't see the mid-band and everything, so this is a little harder to figure out than looking at our charts. But until you can see the swings and everything, you can always turn this chart on. Because, for instance, we called, 33? That was one of them. It came down to 31. So you definitely put your stop just above that swing and see it took you. See there? It absolutely took you. Okay, so now look to the left to trade the right, and let's see where it's going. And we're going to wrap quick because I know I'm almost 10 minutes over. Okay, look immediately left. We got taken out of our trade, so we look to the left. We say, okay, where have they not checked on this little puppy yet? All right, so draw on your chart. They haven't checked 61. That's immediately left. See it? They haven't checked. They have checked 45, and they haven't checked 52. Now they're checking 52. Everybody see that? And so let's see if we can get a little trade. Let's do one more, and we'll see. All right, so you have a low, a high, a higher low, and a little higher high. Does this mean this is going to head up? Should you get ready to box this for like a long trade? Not in my personal opinion. You can if you're closer to the open because they move more, but this is in the middle of the night. So what kind of a trade are we looking for? Well, let's look to the left to trade the right. I see a swing at 61. I see a swing at 67. That's a phantom trade. What do you think? If it hits 61 right here, I would probably take that trade. Now, could you do it more, like boxing it in? See, it just hit it. All right, so let's put our stop right there. See, it just hit resistance. And we're only going to try to go for like 9 or 10 ticks. Let's just put it on next swing over. Let's just try to get 45. Everybody see what I'm doing? Just looking to the left to trade the right. Let's see if we can get 45. And we got 45. Cool way to trade, isn't it, everyone? Mid-band trade, rolls over, hit perfect resistance on the left. You drew your other one, it never hit it and rolled. All right, so then you look to the left again and you look for those swings. And it nailed it. When would you enter that, on touch or when the candle closes down? Well, Roy, on your question, when you get a bar that actually goes above line 6, I personally like to see it close above line 6, but I will take this trade. But I put a really, really tight stop on it if I do. Okay. But I also will take this trade more readily if I can see a lightning 3 swing to the left. And you definitely saw one. Okay. So if you can see a lightning 3 swing to the left and they tag it like that, that's pretty much a no-brainer trade that'll make you money. Okay. I hope this helped everybody out some. Keep in mind that, you know, when this market was trading on, I think this was Thursday, you know, we called the trades at the open of the market. And if you look for them, let's just real quick, anybody wants to leave is fine, but let's see, there was another phantom trade, by the way. Let's see where this one's going. Look at that. It tried to get 60. Let's see, there's 61 there. That must be 67, I'll bet you. Let's draw the line. Yeah, there you go on the money. See how they check them? Now, is this a good trade too? Well, it's too late now, but yes, that was a good trade to box in also. But let's go to the open, and just real quick, anybody wants to stick around, this is being recorded. And we're going to just go to 7:59. And I want to see if everybody else can diagnose this chart. Is that a phantom trade, anybody? Well, that's before we open. But is that a phantom trade? I'll take it and we'll just see if we can get 10 ticks. Just for the fun of it. Got it. Everybody see that? Phantom trade. Now it's turning the background red. That's another phantom trade, by the way. That's a line 1 phantom trade. A little late, but I'm going to try it too just for the fun of it. And I'm going to put a nice tight stop on it. Now keep in mind I wanted to buy it at line 1, but let's just see if it works. It is a phantom trade. There's another 10 ticks. Okay. Now what is this ultimately trying to do? Anybody? This is trying to break down, but it hadn't broken down yet. But see that red background right there? That's telling you that it's more than likely going to break down. 10 ticks to Tahiti. Absolutely, you can do that. All right, so let's see. We got a phantom. We got a phantom. All right, look to the left to trade the right. Let's go to 7:59 though, just for the fun of it. Okay, and there's 8 o'clock right there. Now let's look and see if this didn't do the same thing I've been teaching the whole hour. All right. Let's say that you weren't up at 7:39 and you weren't in the room yet. Okay. You weren't in the room at the time, right? So here comes, you're still not in the room. Okay. You're still not in the room. You say, oh my gosh, this thing broke down. Now looking to the left to trade the right, you draw your lines on your chart. Draw your first one that's immediately left on price, and then draw your second one that's your next level in price. And usually if it's within a couple of ticks, I draw the next one. Okay, so here's one here too, and then here's one here. All right, so if it kisses that line right there and a predictor shows up, is that a trade? Yes or no? Yes. See there? It's just constant on these charts. You can see them and you see them and see them and see them. And if you miss that one, what do you think? Next, let's just try one more. See if everybody can get it. Predictor. All right, predictor says, look to the left, trade to right. Got 14. That's above mid-band, so I'm going to draw another one at mid-band. All right, look to the left to trade the right. 17. Nope, not 17 because it'd take out this swing. I would draw one more line at the predictor, like right here. And this is a little sweet spot for this trade, right in here. Right like that. Let's see if it actually does it. What do you think? Got to make a quick decision. We just drew the lines on the chart. How about a bar close? You got resistance right there at 11. You got resistance at 17, right? And then way up at 26 or 25. So 17 would be the highest that I'd plan on it going. And this is at 14, so 14 would be good. Now, what if it doesn't get up to 14? Could you still box this trade? Well, on a 1, 2, 3 reversal, could you box it like this right here? Not that large, like that large. I think I just missed it. I got it. And then look to the left to trade the right and see, okay, if this was to come up to 17, I'm not going to let it go that high, by the way, because we already got in the trade. So you're going to have to pretty much put your stop just right above that box, because this trade might not work out. All right, so we got a 5-tick stop on it now. Everybody see that? And I'd put a target right there, look to the left, trade the right. They're breaking down, right? Now, you want to draw this little deal that we always draw. Thrust, retrace, thrust. Nothing else. Now what you need to do is you need to draw the smaller one. Let's see, thrust, little double top, so that's not a leg 2, leg 1, leg 2, leg 3. So this is actually leg 1, leg 2. So draw that one also. Like so, thrust, retrace. Actually, no, sorry. Thrust, 1, 2, 3, like a double top. So 1, 2, and then draw it from here. And it's already there, so everything's fine on that. It should hit its head there. And let's see if we can get this little trade, if it's going to work for us. Let's just fast forward and see what it does. It's going 500 times. Everybody see how you can trade like this? Now, if you were just in one contract, okay, right now, with this trade, could you put your stop just above this swing like that? And the answer is yes. But keep in mind that from bottom to the mid-band is 24 ticks. Well, what if this thing dropped 100 ticks? If I remember right, this might have done that the other day. But what if this decides to come up and kiss like mid-band and roll again? Could you add one? See, that was kind of quick, but I went ahead and added one because it just kissed mid-band. Everybody see how you can do that? Looking left to trade the right. Where's it checking? It's checking 88. Rolled over again. I'm going to go ahead and add one just for the fun of it. And then I'm going to take one off really, really quick. That's good enough. Well, that was quick. Rolled again. Now, I would have added one again right there, but that's all right. I'm going 500 times, so it's kind of hard to catch. Everybody see that? Absolutely. And the thing is, that if you learn to trade like this, you know, when you go from this striped shirt effect to a red background, you're pretty much looking for these mid-band trades then, okay? But when it's in this, like this right here, phantom trade, phantom trade, phantom trade, phantom trade short, phantom trade short, phantom trade short, change the background to green. You didn't short this phantom because it's no longer a phantom, it's a mid-band. But you got a phantom here, 10 ticks, phantom here, 10 ticks. Then you change backgrounds and everything, and you got these rollovers. Okay? And that's what we constantly do in that room, is catch these trades like this. Let's see, whenever you have a chance, could you show how you set up your stop profit parameters to set up for 2 contracts? Sure, I did mention I'd do that, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's close this out. All right. It depends on how you want it, Roy, but you can actually change Object Trader to be whatever you want it to be, or you can set it as a template. Now, template, you have to load the template, you know, as you're loading Object Trader, or you can just simply change everything in it. Let's say, for instance, that you wanted to do 2 contracts. Set your quantity at 2. Okay, that way it would always go into 2 contracts. You don't want to go over 2 the way you're talking about, so you would make sure you don't set your max contracts. Sorry about that. Max contracts is 4, so you'd set that at 2. Okay, and then if you wanted to do like a runner, you could go up here to these parameters. Let's say that you wanted to do 9, and instead of 12 ticks, like say 30 for a runner, because you can always move that. All right, that would be the way to do that. And then you could do like let's say a 10 tick stop and a break even trigger of 10, something like that, so you'd always be in the profit, because you'd be $90 and need to be break even, so you'd have about a $90 trade each time. You could do it like that, and then you just right click and set that as your default. Now let me ask a quick question, and we're going to wrap. I'm running way over. But what kind of trade are you looking for now? Anybody? Background's turning green. Let's just see. Now I've got it going 500 times, so it's going to be kind of hard to catch. But I saw one already right there. Did it go to a predictor? Not yet. All right, let's draw on our chart real quick. This is going to be fairly quick. Bingo. Trady, trady. See it? Drew on my chart quick enough. That's a trade. Now, I didn't get to catch it because I don't have Object Trader turned on, but does everybody see how I drew those lines just really, really fast? Look to the left to trade the right, draw your supports. I hope this helped everybody. I purposely ran this a little bit over because, you know, repetition is the key to trading, and you want to always make sure that you're trading the way we teach. Look at this. Is that a phantom trade right there? Anybody? Could you have boxed that trade in like so? Just literally just when it took out line 2? Would that do a 10 tick trade? It looks like it did. Back in your face. Is that another phantom trade? That's a line 1 phantom trade. That's a line 1 phantom trade. So if I was trading this and I just missed this, if this even came close to this line 2 again, or that bar closed up, I'd grab it. Because that's a line 1 phantom trade. That's where you'd box it, literally just like the moment it starts reversing. Line 1 phantoms on oil will put money in your account. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this didn't take out that top. Let's just see. Got it going 500 times. Bank some coin. Definitely bank some coin. Out. See there? You're out. Good trades, aren't they? Look for mid-band trades. Look for phantom trades. you will change your trading for absolutely forever. But I can tell you this, if you'll learn to really watch for phantom trades on crude oil, you will find that crude oil does phantoms better than any instrument out there. Now, Russell does them pretty well too, but you got to watch for Russell just cratering through a phantom, and you got to be ready to go the other way. But oil does beautiful trades, and if you simply watch your fibs also, you'll find that these are really good trades too. See, like this particular thrust, that's a 50% retracement right to that phantom. So is that a good area to box and be ready to go? Absolutely. Okay. All right. I hope, again, this helped. I want everybody to be able to, make that coin. And if you want to just make $300 or $400 in the morning, like Linda does each day, if she was trading this one like right here, to give an example, let's say she got up at, I don't know, 6:30, something like that. All right. Red background, could you box this right here like we teach? Absolutely. Now, when it's this color background, you're iffy at mid bands. Okay. But when it's this color background, you're really changing trends usually. So these boxing in like this are pretty good. So if she would have gotten this one here, she could have taken coin right at the bottom, been up $300 for the day, and done for the day. Okay. Let's see, Louis. Thanks so much. This was an excellent webinar, unbelievably helpful. I hope it did help everybody. Now keep in mind that, looking to the left to trade the right, you've also got to realize that at some time they're going to change trends. And if you get stopped, let's say that you shorted this right here and you're riding it, and mercy, it's just riding and riding. When did it actually get stopped out? Anybody? You didn't have to wait all the way to up here, because when did this start stair-stepping back up? It was stair-stepping down, retrace. Double bottom, starts stair-stepping up, doesn't it? Takes out that swing. Could you take your coin off that table on that bar, that red bar right there? Yes, absolutely. You still left some on the table, but it quit stair-stepping down. Just like this one, see? Stair-stepping, started not stair-stepping when it took out that little box swing, didn't it? Same here. Shooting down, higher low, takes out the swing, you're out. You don't have to wait for it to go all the way to mid-band. What if you set it for mid-band out? Let's say that you got in right here on a box, like so, and you're just riding like a runner, for instance. Are you going to let it go all the way back to there? That's almost where you got in. So can't you get out instead when lightning starts striking the other direction? See there? Taking out that little swing. Yeah, don't leave all that money on the table every single time. Now, if you're going to trade something like Russell, you're pretty much going to have to, but I don't let oil go back that much, because to me that's a downtrend and that's an uptrend. It's not an uptrend as far as buying long yet, but it's an uptrend as far as taking you out of your stop. Okay? Learn to see that lightning, and you'll see where to get out of these trades. All right. Mama G, you can have the recording. I'll put it on the webinar link today. Absolutely. Anybody has any questions, feel free to call me. This was a long webinar, but I think it probably helped a lot of people. All right. Any final questions before we wrap? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Kevin says, if I can just train myself to make 400 each morning, I will soon be up to 4,000 per morning. Yeah. See, that's the thing, because if you took trade after trade that was drawn on this chart, and, just draw on your chart and take those trades and box them in, just think about it. A $300 trade, a predictor, $300 trade, $300 trade, $300 trade, $300 trade. They're just all over the place. Or say with two contracts, $200 trade, $200 trade, $200 trade. They add up. What's hard to do a lot of times, and I run into the same thing, like Linda, for instance, when she's up 300, 350, she doesn't want to go back in. And I don't blame her in a way, because if you go in with two contracts and get a 10-tick hit, she just gave 200 of her money back. So, it's also all about nicely green. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And I'm sorry I ran this quite this long, but we will trade on Monday morning. And I'll call these trades just like I always do in the room. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.